There comes a moment in life, a stillness so profound it shakes the very bones of your being. A moment where no words are spoken, yet everything becomes clear. The noise stops, the distractions fall away, and in that silence, the soul speaks. It's in that sacred pause after the heartbreak, the betrayal, the burnout, that truth rises. Unfiltered, unforgiving, undeniable. That is when you discover what you truly stand for and what you can no longer allow. You see, your life is not a rehearsal, it's a mission. And there are some things, well, 6 things exactly, you must never, ever, ever tolerate if you're going to rise, reclaim your strength, and walk in your power. First is disrespect, in any form. Disrespect is not always loud. Sometimes it whispers, and sometimes it shows up in a rolled eyes during your story. The sentence interrupted and never finished. The decision made without your voice, when your voice should have mattered. It doesn't matter, it doesn't need a slur or a shove to damage it. It happens quietly, when people treat your thoughts like inconvenience, your presence like a burden, your value like a negotiation. The real danger isn't just in the act, it's in the silence that follows. We were taught to brush it off, don't overreact, that's just how they are. But every time you excuse it, you train yourself to tolerate less. You shrink, not because you want to, but because survival demands it. You keep the peace by forfeiting your power. That's not humility, that's harm. Kindness is not complicity. Empathy is not self-erasure. And silence is not strength when your boundaries are being broken on repeat. Disrespect thrives in second guesses, in backhanded jokes disguised as banter, in the smirk behind the insult, in the laugh that lands like a slap. But here's the truth. If it makes you feel smaller instead of stronger, it matters. Sometimes disrespect, if deliberate, strategic, they test your limits, not by accident, but by design. They're watching, testing, seeing how much power they can take from you without asking for it. And every time you stay silent, they get louder. Now, the difference between a mistake and a pattern is something you need to know. Because once it's a pattern, it's not a mistake. It's a message, remember that. Second, manipulation, masqueraded as love. Manipulation is a thief that wears a familiar face. It doesn't kick the door in, it slides in, dressed as affection. I'm just worried about you. If you really cared, you'd stay at home. I only say this because I love you. At first, it feels like love, like being seen, until suddenly it's not. Suddenly, your joy is selfish. Your independence is disloyal. Your growth, a threat. Manipulators don't always yell. Some whisper, some cry, some go silent. But they all have one thing in common. They make you apologize for your freedom. They make you question the very parts of you that once made you feel alive. They play the hero and victim in the same breath. They bait you with validation, then punish you with absence. They use your kindness as a leash. They weaponize your past. Your pain becomes their puppet. But love that suffocates isn't love. Control wrapped in I love you is still a cage, even if it's lined up with compliments and apologies. Third one is lies. Not just the words, the fracture, the breach of reality. A lie is not just what's hidden, it's what's stolen. Your right to clarity, your right to choose with full truth. Lies dismantle trust piece by piece. They fracture memory, they poison the timeline of love. And the worst part, you don't just lose them, you lose the version of yourself that believed in them. And suddenly, trust becomes a staircase with no handrail. Every step forward and not assumed, because once the truth is negotiable, everything is. Fourth, criticism that destroys instead of builds. Real feedback sharpens. False feedback shatters. It's not always loud. Sometimes it sighs before it speaks. Sometimes it's a raised eyebrow. a pause, a public correction, disguised as just being honest. But what it really means is stay small, stay scarred, stay under me. Destructive criticism doesn't aim to grow you, it aims to shrink you. And worst of all, it plants itself in your head. Start hearing them, even when they're gone. And that's not feedback, that's programming. And the fifth, apathy. Apathy towards your dreams. Sometimes the worst betrayal isn't rage, it's the shrug, the silence, the blank stare when you share your fire. Apathy doesn't fight you, it ghosts you while you speak. And slowly you stop sharing your dream. Not because it faded, but because they did. When the people closest to you can't even pretend to care. That's not neutrality, that's neglect. Protect your dream, wrap it up in steel, speak it into rooms where hearts beat, not just bodies breathe. And sixth, and finally, abuse. In any form. There is no kind version. No justified version. No spiritualized, romanticized, or rationalized version. Abuse is calculated corrosion of your dignity, whether by word, silence, threat, or prayer, whether it leaves a bruise or just a broken mirror behind your eyes. It's not love, it's not faith, it is not just a bad day. And staying silent only strengthens their grip. So I ask you this, what are you still tolerating? What are you still tolerating that your soul has outgrown? If your soul is whispering enough, that's not weakness, that's wisdom. Let today be the day you stop waiting for permission. You stop translating your pain into palatable phrases. You stop tolerating what was never worthy of you. Because your power isn't in how much you endure, it's in what you no longer allow. Speak it, stand in it, walk out of what breaks you and into what builds you. When the world goes silent, let your soul roar.